LEGO Harry Potter completely nailed it with the sorting hat, in my opinion, but is that the case with these 4 sets? Thank you LEGO for sending them for review. The Flying Ford Anglia has been done plenty of times in the past, but never as a standalone product, so having the option of getting the vehicle by itself, which plays a major role in one of the most iconic scenes of the Chamber of Secrets, makes total sense. On the character side of things, Harry and Ron make for obvious inclusions, with outfits that match their movie appearances quite well, as do the scared secondary expressions on the head elements. They both have their wands, a small suitcase and their pets, Hedwig and Scabbers, but fitting everything inside the car can be a challenge. You can access the interior by removing the large tile on top, and it's kinda neat how they figured out the space to have the minifigures even though they have these small legs that can't bend. Hedwig can fit in the back, Scabbers on Harry's lap, and the rest of the items in the opening trunk. The proportions of the car are a bit weird. The bottom half seems squeezed and the top taller than it should, but I guess that's the best it can be done at this smallest scale with minifigures that can't sit. It's also a bit too square and straight lined, whereas the real car is a lot more rounded. But despite all that, it still is recognizable for what it is, especially with that baby blue color scheme, and the simple nature of the build fits the age marking well. There's stickers for the license plate, front and back, and inside another for the invisibility booster. As mentioned before, the trunk opens, as do the doors, which are actually printed, and I quite like these angled sections for being neat builds, but also for having a new to me slope. Same height as the cheese slope but longer, same length as the ventilation slope but without the air intakes that I'm sure we'll start seeing a lot more in upcoming LEGO sets. Priced at $15 for 165 pieces with all those characters, printed elements and new shapes is surprisingly decent, making it a very good product that I suspect will sell very well despite the shaping shortcomings I mentioned before. Now, if I told you that the Forbidden Forest Magical Creatures set only has an extra 7 pieces when compared to the Ford Anglia but costs double the price, you'd say that's insane, right? Well, here we are, but the size impression you get out of both models doesn't quite make it feel that the piece count is similar, right? And there's a few more things that make it easier to understand how the pricing works here, but before that, the forest build is made out of 5 different sections, made in such a system that you can rearrange in a line, curved, or in a circle formation that will also fit an upcoming polybag set named Draco and the Forbidden Forest. The builds aren't anything out of the ordinary and are quite simple besides the trees, though the thing that stands out to me are the glow-in-the-dark dish elements for mushrooms. The lamp Ron holds also glows in the dark, but not the wands both him and Hermione carry. Both have scared alternate face prints, but what gives the set its name are the magical creatures it has. The bat at the top of the tree is nothing out of the ordinary, nor the spider, unless of course you know it glows in the dark as well, which is kinda cool. Then there's the Cornish pixie that, while not new here, the print with the blinking eye feels exclusive. Then there's also a baby Thestral, which has been featured before in another set, and lastly Buckbeak, the hippogriff, also not exclusive here. The head can be moved up and down, and so do its wings connected to the body with clip pieces, but I do find it weird that a grey plate was used for the wing assembly rather than a white one, which feels out of place. This one is probably the one out of the 4 sets of this video I like the least. The big pieces, the animals and the glow-in-the-dark elements, while helping understand the pricing of the set, still feel hard to justify when compared to the Ford Anglia with a very similar piece count. The appeal on this one is probably all of the characters and creatures included, but I'd wait for a discount to buy it if I were you, as I don't feel this is the best value you can get out of your money. The Hogwarts Castle Owlery is a better product as far as character selection goes, in my opinion, with 3 minifigures, 5 owls, a rat and a spider. Argus Filch is one of them, and I love how that secondary piece fits on top of the head to show his hair loss setting in. Harry looks great with that jacket and the long hairstyle from Goblet of Fire. The final minifigure is Cho Chang, which makes sense here as this was the place where Harry invited her to the Yule Ball. Being the Owlery, it only made sense for a bunch of them to be included, and the selection is kinda great. Two open wing designs, with one being Hedwig, two owls in a resting position, while the last one is the cutest thing. For the first time ever in LEGO, I think, Pigwidgeon, Ron's pet owl given to him after the loss of his pet rat in Prisoner of Azkaban, if you know what I mean. Technically, there's also a sixth owl in this set, which is actually plain, without any prints, meant to be a statue placed inside. The Owlery build is quite nice looking, but one of those highly deceiving elf buildings, so beware. It has this snowy look all over it, a few steps leading up, under which the rat is hiding, and the whole build has all of these windows where the owls can fly in and out. It'll be hard to notice, but the roof is built at an angle, which I thought was a cool technique. There's all of these jumper plates onto which you can attach the owls, and inside, despite the tower seeming kinda big, not a whole lot is happening. There's that statue on this floor that I mentioned before, and two of the floors just have some letters, which I guess is to be expected. The ground floor, however, does have a rotating play feature with a jumper for us to place an owl, a water container, a place for the rat according to images from the website, and a box of owl treats with one right outside, all printed by the way. On the tower's roof there's some lamps, another place for an owl to rest, and a portrait, one out of 14 different ones to collect that people can expect to find in Harry Potter products going forward, which is cool, but a shame not being included in these smaller sets. The one I got here seems to be Professor Basil Fronsack. This product, while matching the style of previous Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle sets, doesn't have connection points, which kinda makes sense as this was detached from the main castle build. It's alpha building at the end of the day and will retail for $45, that for a set with just 364 pieces feels a bit too much. Not as bad as the Forest set in my opinion, and I still prefer this one over that, but I don't know, the Fort Anglia still feels like the better product so far. But then there's Hagrid's Hut, an unexpected visit set, a great reference to Philosopher's Stone, where the three kids went to Hagrid's unannounced, ended up finding out about Norbert and were busted by Malfoy. Oh, and Fang is also there. But taking a step back, Hagrid has had many minifigure versions in the past, but never with this apron printed element front and back, which matches the movie scene well. Fang seems to be exclusive here and is almost as big as the kids, Harry, Ron and Hermione all wearing cool outfits. Draco looks annoyed as always, wearing his Slytherin robes, and last but not least, Norbert the Dragon, Hagrid one in egg form from a shady character. As for the hut itself, is made of two parts, or actually this side build is in fact Fang's doghouse. Quite the investment in pieces for just the dog, not that it doesn't deserve it, but it does feel like a significant amount of Lego for what it is. Hagrid's hut looks fine, with a boring color scheme that matches the stone structure the thing actually had, and besides the front with these two builds that can be detached from the main house, a few leaves and mushrooms on the floor, nothing else really goes on outside. The roof was an impressive build in the way that all of the different shapes were done internally and how well they fit together in the end. It doesn't look like it, but a ton of pieces went into making this thing, and the olive green details also had a nice touch to it all. You can remove it as one single object, ending up revealing a full interior that can be better accessed with the engine function. By the entrance, Hagrid's pink umbrella is a must, as is his big sofa, where he can actually fit lying down as he doesn't bend his legs. The sense of depth with the furniture was achieved with stickers to make the cabinets seem deeper than they actually are. To the left, a smaller couch for the kids, another cabinet with an axe and a pair of keys befitting Hagrid's title of Keeper of Keys and Grounds. A fireplace burning, on top of which lies a cup and two printed tiles that are actually his oven mitts. Above the couch, another of those collectible portraits, with this one featuring featuring Elizabeth Burke. On the opposite side lies a table with Norbert's broken eggshell on top, a chair, another cupboard with sticker that we need to open to find yet another portrait, this time around featuring Sir Cadogan. I really like this one. The character selection is amazing, all of the little details and Easter eggs are always a treat to Harry Potter fans, and it's been 5 years since the last hut was made, so this is a welcome addition to the theme for those of you who missed it. Being priced at $75 for a set with almost 900 pieces makes it a great deal, even more so when compared to the Owlery and the Forest sets. And while I don't think I like it better than the Sorting Hat I reviewed in another video, it's my favorite set out of the 4 I reviewed in this one. The instruction booklet for both this set and the Owleries feature this schematic, maybe hinting at a new wave of Hogwarts Castle sets in the works. I'm saying this since none of the previous sets are featured here, like it has been done in the past, but I guess time will tell.